Wild Kingdom Wellness. Hold please while I share this live video to my Facebook. So let me see if I can do that real quick. Hit that button. Okay. All right, guys, we're back. Hello, Holly King. How you doing? I am about to get on my bicycle. We're going to talk today about some stuff. So anyway, if you have never seen me here on YouTube, first thing I'm asking of you is to go ahead and hit subscribe. Just do that now. You're going to want to do this, because I will become a phenomena in 2026 when it comes to wellness and my wellness journey and some things we're going to talk about in order to help, let's just say, heal the planet. Yeah, I said it, heal the world. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm about. But if you're new to this channel, what I do is, generally speaking, several mornings of the week, I will get on my bicycle here, which I'm going to go ahead and do, and I will start to channel the message, the good news message of wellness. So that's who I am. That's what I do. So make sure, catch myself here, that you like and subscribe on this video, because there will be more to come. So, all right, so let me get my wedgie out real quick, y'all. Hold on. I'm very authentic when I do these videos, and so again, you're gonna want to follow along. So I did turn off the chat right now on the live video, because I found that if I start reading other people's comments, then I get very distracted over what it is that I want to say. And so later I will go back and look at comments. So you can absolutely comment on this video at any time if you catch it. Because again, this is a live stream. So I'll be able to kind of see how many people are watching, but I will not be able to see your comments live. Now, that's okay, because, ladies and gentlemen, the last week, I'm just going to dive right in because I think that's the best way to do it. So the last few days, I have not felt great, meaning, to be specific, looks like one person is watching. Good morning. Stick with me here. Again, I turned off the chat, but hang tight here with me, because I'm going to talk about what I've been going through the last few days. And I'm going to also talk about what other people have told me as a health coach, okay, because I am a health coach, what other people have shared with me over the last few days. It actually shows me that, like, I'm not the only person on the planet feeling the mental stress and anxiety and the things that are going on, like, in the world around us, right? The cosmos, okay? So, one thing I do is I notice each day when I wake up, how's my body feeling? Everybody has an agenda. Like, y'all, we get up every day, we get the same 24 hours as everybody else. And so what we do with the 24 hours in our day, like, that's our own choice, right? That's up to us. So what I do is I get up in the morning, first thing I do, y'all, and I ain't gonna lie, I hit the coffee, okay? So I know, as a health coach, right, that having an addiction to anything can be strugglesome. Is that a word? Somebody comment below and let me know. Is strugglesome a word? It can be difficult if you have an addiction to anything, right? Sex, drugs, rock and roll, coffee, food, alcohol, whatever it is. Human beings have chemical addiction to substance, and it's the things, y'all, that we don't even think about that are a big deal, right? Like coffee. But back to what I do every morning is I get up, I ask the universe what day it is, right? And then I go get my coffee and I start taking care of my home, right? I would say the Proverbs, is it the Proverbs 31 woman? She gets up real early, burns the lamp real late at night, which I don't do, y'all. I go to sleep. But, like, the Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs 31 woman, she's classified, y'all, as the virtuous woman, right? And if you look at that scripture, because I'm also a Bible coach, so I'm a health coach, I'm a Bible coach, I'm a body worker for those of you all that do not know me. Okay, so massage therapist, licensed by trade. But, I get up every day and I'm like, if I don't have my coffee, like, I don't get motivated. So, is that an addiction? Well, yes, it is. And I have tried, y'all. Listen, hold please. Excuse me. I have told myself as a health coach that I really need to start looking at the things that I'm putting in my body, looking at them in great detail, okay? Like really paying attention to labels, obviously. Y'all, we're past that now. We know the shit in our food is poison. Like, and again, subscribe because you're really going to want to understand who I am as a human, right? And I want you all to have information, right, that I have found to be, that I have found to do self-application. That's the word I'm looking for. If I've tried something and it works for me, because y'all listen, there's 15 of you watching. I used to weigh almost 300 pounds, okay? That's the truth. So I'm not lying. I got photos, right? But y'all, I was a very obese child. I grew up in the 70s and 80s eating nothing but garbage, trash food. As a matter of fact, because my mama's still alive and she can validate this, we got government cheese when we were kids. Like, we got the box of, like, here's your allowance, poor person. Here's your box of food for the month. Go and feed your 6 kids, because that's how many kids were in our house. Swear to God, And so we got, like, government cheese, right? What else was in that box? Powdered milk, peanut butter, God, just stuff that just was not good for you. And so, growing up in the lower to middle class economy in the 70s and 80s, if you had more than 2 or 3 kids, which we did, you needed a little help at times to feed those faces, right? But, like, can you think about the ingredients? Let's go back. I wish I was more savvy on tech and I would be like, let me show you through this little pop-up video here, the ingredients that were in processed government cheese that we kids ate all the time. I'm talking grilled cheese with that fake Velveeta, y'all. Like, it melted. It was sorta. When I think about it, it didn't really melt. It just got softer, right? So you got that government cheese. Hold on. I love how these videos go because I never know how they're gonna go. So, hold please. Well, we'll tell y'all it's my testimony. So, truth is all up in this house. Okay. So, but I got fed government cheese. Captain Crunch was like the demon in my life. Like, I have eaten more Captain Crunch than probably any kid on the planet. I should get, like, some kind of kickback from, is it General Mills? Who is it that owns Captain Crunch? I don't know. I forget. Procter & Gamble. I don't know. They're all related. But, y'all, seriously, all I did for 30 years of my life, 30 plus, probably close to 40 years of my life. I'm 53 right now. Yes, I am, y'all. Ain't ashamed of it, but I definitely am feeling it, okay? But y'all, I had access to nothing but crap food. Here's the thing. I'm not blaming my parents. They didn't really know, what was going on. Because if you look at, like, a family of 4 or 5 or 6 back in the 70s and 80s, right? We had cable TV come out. We had microwave ovens start to come out. We had access to, like, movies and DVDs, VHS. It was actually VHS back then, right? So the kids, we stopped going outside and playing for the most part. I know I did, okay? Because all I did as a young child was get mesmerized with MTV, okay? I definitely started watching some, hair girl bands. Hello, whoever's watching, say hi. Like, I used to watch nothing but MTV, sit on the couch, eat donuts, eat Captain Crunch, drink milk, and Little Debbie's. I would eat the shit out of Little Debbie's, y'all. That's all I ate growing up as a child. Again, I'm not blaming my parents. You know why? Because they were busy working, trying to pay the light bill, trying to put gas in the car, trying to build a home for a family that, we were latchkey kids, And 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, now it's 40 years ago for me, y'all, that's just the way it was, okay? Now, I'm an X generation. Welcome to my channel. You're really going to want to subscribe. Make sure you do. Because, y'all, I'm going to talk to y'all about my experience in life, what I've had to go through, some of the effed up things that don't make sense that I see going on in the world around me, especially in the government, okay? Whew, the politics, y'all, the hatred going on in our planet right now, like the hate energy that I see on social media, when you look at what's everything, you know what I'm talking about because you're on YouTube and your algorithm's going to take you there, okay? Just remember that. So when you see me pop up on your YouTube, then I want you to hit like and subscribe. Share this video with somebody that you're like, check this broad out. Like, this Kentucky girl is a wackadoodle wild. But she knows stuff, right? How does she know stuff? Well, I read books and I go to school, right? Because I still, at 53 years old, people, hold please, it's water time, okay? Hold your panties on. Hold on. Oh, the sun's coming up. So, y'all, what was I saying? I do that squirrel thing. Whoop, squirrel. Michelle would be proud. But y'all, listen to me. I grew up in a world that was nothing but processed foods. And so when I became 38, 39, 40 years old, and I worked in the healthcare industry before I became a massage therapist, and we're going to talk about some of that on here. Let's hope I don't get canceled, okay? But y'all, I had access to so much data by the time I reached age 38, 39 years old. As a healthcare insurance agent, seeing your claims, seeing how much prescriptions, how many prescriptions you are being prescribed. I'm the one looking at the usage reports. Y'all follow me here? The numbers, I might look like a little crazy girl, but I'm telling you right now, I can follow patterns that don't make sense, okay? I'm also a Scorpio, so subscribe. But y'all, when I had access to so much data back in 2000 and, let's just say 2008, 9, 10, and 11, okay? 12 and 13. And when Obamacare was a big deal. We're going to pass this law, for Obamacare. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was enacted in 2014. And here we are in 2025, getting ready to undo everything that was done 11 years ago. And here's my problem, people. We don't have a plan, okay? You're not consulting the people who say, this is what I want to use my health care for, okay? Government, listen to me. Hello, White House people. Bobby, I voted for Kennedy. Robert Jr., call me, okay? Y'all, listen to me. If you get into the actuarial data of how much money is wasted in our modern day healthcare system, you would be appalled. And you would want somebody like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to go in there and doge the fuck out of the government, okay? I'm just saying. I got freedom of speech too, But y'all, I saw reports after reports of wasted healthcare spending, not to mention the pharmaceutical companies. Oh yes, I'm telling secrets. I forgot my whistle. I was going to blow my whistle on this video, y'all. You're going to want to subscribe, okay? Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. I see it. So, but you all have any idea how much wasted spending is going on in your healthcare system. I think you do understand as a normie, because y'all, I'm a normie now. I am just a normie human being, okay? But I know that I've been following these trends, that have put us in trillions and trillions and bazillions and gazillions and jerkawillions of debt. How much more can we go? But you know what? It's all fake money anyway. What does it matter? What does it matter in the end if the government comes in and they force us all, to a crypto system, whatever. We're followed around and monitored every single minute of every day from multiple sources. If you think you're not being watched, you're sadly mistaken. All you homesteaders moving out to Montana, listen to me. Those satellites, they still can find you, okay? Nothing is hidden anymore. And that, you all, is why, mama, my finger, y'all, that is why I'm on here doing these videos, especially, as someone who lives in a very, very conservative part of the country, but not really. Here's my thing. All you Kentuckians out there who pretending to be Christians, and you're hiding your darkness in the secrecy, just come out into the light, ask Jesus to forgive you, and help me fight this good fight of faith to say that there is a spiritual warfare going on, and what it's doing, it's not here to just eat your soul. Hello. It is here to conquer and divide humans. But what does it look like? Well, I don't know. All I know is this, you all. Evangelicals are fighting against the Catholics. That's very historic. Okay? This is like, ask any Knights Templar. Go ask your Scottish Rite buddies. Y'all, I know everything. There's almost nothing I don't know. But if I'm unsure, then I'll go research it, right? And if I'm wrong, I will say I messed up. Kind of like Candace Owens. Punch on the cheek, right? You're like, okay, fine. Maybe I missed this detail. If you don't know who Candace Owens is, you definitely ain't paying attention to nothing. So, Google it, right? But y'all, this is a systemic mental warfare. You can call it a psyop, whatever, But y'all, this is mental warfare. But here's the thing. You start locking into people like me, who's a prayer warrior, which is my job description. I get paid to pray for people. I really do, like I do. I do, and I don't hide it, Am I an evangelist that owns a church? No, because really you don't own the church, y'all. You are the church. You boo, me, and you. We be the conduit. We are the conduits for the Holy Spirit. No matter what you think that Holy Spirit looks like. Okay? So, what do you do with all this knowledge? What do you do with all the power when you finally recognize and realize that you're kind of screwed right now when it comes to like good, healthy, quality politicians? Y'all, we baked, okay? We baked with the current administration. We are baked. We have been the frog in the pot of boiling water. And that's not a witch joke, okay? We have been, ladies and gentlemen, hear me now. Thank you for the likes. That's going to help build this algorithm because y'all, I ain't trying to get canceled, but, I'm here to speak truth. My truth, again, this is my journey. I am not a doctor. Anything I say as far as medical advice is not for you. It's for me, okay? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is riding this bicycle right now trying to get this fat off my body, okay? Because, y'all, I have not been feeling good. The last few days, my heart rate, I have what's called bradycardia. It's where my heart goes beep, and then it waits like a day, and then it'll beep again. I tell people all the time, I would make an amazing monk because my heartbeat is like 32 beats a minute all the time. If you don't believe me, I'll pull out my medical records because I keep them. I learned to keep records, y'all, of stuff so you can go back and look at like Well, first of all, your health history. What has your doctor told you to do about your high blood pressure? What has your doctor told you to do about your toe fungus? Like, what is going on in our medical system? It's definitely not helping the commoner, the people who have been, poisoned for decades. And here we are. And again, y'all, back to the pharmaceutical whistleblowing. All those reports that I had access to, millions and millions and millions of dollars of data, had the same story behind it. Everything you were getting prescribed, everything that was coming out of the pharmacy, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Kroger, Costco, all these pharmacies, you go in there and ask them if they could tell you what's the number one drug being prescribed in the world. And I would say, I got two guesses, y'all. It's either a heart medication or a diabetic medication. And then what happens is off of all that goo in your body, then you're like, well, we're going to give you this cholesterol medicine, but it's going to be hard on your liver. So then we're going to give you this liver medication so you don't have diarrhea. And then you're on 30 drugs. And you're like, I don't feel good. And I don't mean to laugh, people. Please don't take this that I'm being sarcastic, because I am. I'm going, well, honey bunny, as a health coach, you're on so much medication, like no wonder you don't want to get on the bike and ride it for 10 minutes a day, okay? I get it, because fat, inflammation, pain, stress, anxiety, high sugar levels. I have watched nothing but insulin resistant videos for the last 2 days, and I did it for fun. Just for funsies, right? What does Holly do when she's bored? I just watch videos about how not to die, kind of like Brian Johnson, But y'all, listen, if you don't know who Brian Johnson is, he's the dude that put his son's plasma in his body to see how long he could live. He's the dude that sold, hold on, y'all. Was it Linktree? Anyway, he's rich like Elon, okay? Brian Johnson, he has a protocol that is almost impossible to stick to if you're a normie like me. Almost, right? But he's like, if you want to live, if you want your body mass index to be in line, if you want longevity, that's really the buzzword that's starting to go around right now in the medical and the wellness field, is we got to find some longevity doctors, right? So I found one on YouTube yesterday, and I watched him, and he's like, and they're all saying the same thing, guys. Listen, hold please. I'm still addicted to coffee, which is allowed on keto, by the way. So, and we'll get to that. Hold on. This is how I lose weight, is I run my mouth to you, and you watch, and you like, and you subscribe, and you're going to want to have more Holly King in your life. I promise. I'm actually getting ready to release my podcast here real soon. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. But guys, hear me out. If you know that you have something going on in your body, okay, I'm being very serious right now. I am being a health coach. I'm not your health coach. I'm my own health coach. But I'm going to tell you what I think as a health coach, okay? Once you realize you have a major chronic disease, syndrome, issue in your body, generally us 50-somethings, okay, start to deteriorate right about age 53, or sooner, okay? Once we hit 50, if you lived on a diet of shit food like I did, all of a sudden you realize, oh, I lost 120 pounds or whatever it is. I did it organically. I didn't get a surgery or anything like that. I just kept going. Binge eat the cookies and then ran real fast. Like, that's my life, y'all. It's like, I have night demons and they're called cookies. Okay, Mom? Again, thanks for the Cookie Monster socks, Mother. My mama knows where my demons come from, y'all. Listen, she saw the donuts hidden under my bed. Hello. And everybody made fun of me about it, didn't they, Mom? Yeah, they did. So psychologically, I already have a bad relationship with food, which is why I seek hypnotherapy. Thank you, Izzy and Gina. So I have 2 hypnotherapists, by the way. Different events, right? Different things. But back to being a health coach, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you're going to know me for. Is this crazy? What the hell is she talking about? Why does that make sense to me? Where have I heard that before? That's what I'm going to be bringing to you in this Wild Kingdom Wellness channel. Because why? Because you better get wild about your wellness real quick, especially if you're middle-aged, okay? And stop doing what's not working. Guys, I'm going to really turn this resistance up and get close on this camera. Ooh, because I'm going to build my quads and my glutes. All right, I got to lean in because this is serious. If you know that you are doing something excessively harmful to your body and you're in pain, and now you're like, now I don't know how to get out of pain because my pain is chronic. It's weaved its little ugly head into my fascia, into my connective tissue. My hormones are out of whack. Oh no, my heart rate is up. My heart rate is down, which is why I'm doing this video. You know, my relationships are falling apart. There's so many things, y'all. Trauma, death of a loved one. That's a biggie, y'all. That's a biggie. You know, and as a health coach, I just go, oh my God, I want to hold space for everybody to find healing. Did I not say? The purpose of this video and this channel, y'all. Oh my God. Help me, Lord. Thanks. Woo. That's how I'm going to have my yoga butt back, y'all. But this doesn't necessarily feel good. But if I want my heart rate to go up, if I want to start breaking down all the bullshit that I have eaten up until yesterday, you know, because I did all keto all day long. And then I got home and ate some oatmeal. But, hey, you got to fight these demons once at a time, y'all. I'm just saying. But, yeah, if you really want to get serious about your health and wellness, and y'all, click like and subscribe because this channel is free. You're going to get so much information physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually about what it means to be well in all those categories, you know, that when you're done watching this video or you swipe left or right or do whatever you do so that your next video in the algorithm pops up and says, today Candace Owens and Erica Kirk will be meeting. Okay, fine. But what am I going to do in the meantime, little boys and girls? What are we going to do in the meantime to keep ourselves from collapsing into hell, death, you know? Are you going to have a life of longevity because you fought for yourself as a person? You're like, I'm not going to let somebody hijack my calendar when I know 20 minutes a day I need to exercise. That's all. 20 minutes a day. Fuck, 3 days a week. Like, can you not get your heart rate up 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week? I'm telling you, 99% of you all, I can help you do something to raise your heart rate or even lower your heart rate. The center of that would be meditation. Yes, I'm a certified yoga teacher, okay? Y'all, I have all the certifications, okay? But I'm not a doctor, okay? So, I'm not a clinical therapist, but I definitely can tell you from a health coach standpoint, what you do or don't do affects your mental health and your wellness. So, whether you are a clinical therapist or not, or have one or not, or have a counselor or whatever, you can still like and subscribe this video because I'm going to act like some of those things by coaching you. Coaching is not counseling. Coaching is not therapy. Coaching is being an active listener. Right now, this is YouTube, so I'm talking. But coaching with my clients is about sitting down with them. First thing I'm going to do is open my heart up and be like, what's going on? You know, because people hurt. Everybody hurts. You know that song, right? I forget who sings it. But y'all, what are we doing? What are we doing as a culture? What are we doing as the people? Forget what they're doing up in space, okay? If they want to go launch a rocket and go to Jupiter, they just need to hop a ride on AI Atlas. Like, they just go, shoo, shoo. Leave us earthlings alone, you know, and let us Earthlings decide how we're going to salvage the destruction of our planet. Not to mention other cultures, because, and here we go. And I'm going to stop with this because I've been on here almost a half an hour. It's plenty. Here's what I want to say to y'all. I have a challenge, a call to action. Sometimes it comes off as begging when I do this, but if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Because even Jesus went and talked to the beggar. He was like, just get up, go do something. But y'all, unity can't come, not even inside of you. Unity cannot be fully present inside of you or in the world or in the universe if we human beings keep fighting about money, intellectual property, religion, color of our skin, what denomination we are, what country we were born in. Like, yes, just follow a generic tax code, which needs to be rewritten. Duh. Big, beautiful bill my ass. Donald. So, but, y'all, I'm just here to support the people. Like, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. And also to be honest about my experiences in life, because, you can fact check me on a whole lot of stuff. But when you start fact checking me, you better bet your ass I'm going to be fact checking your ass back. So let's just go above and beyond that and love each other first. Because love will heal these wounds. They'll heal the generational curses of slavery, because you're not the only one, okay? We've all been enslaved at some point culturally. It's fine. We're not slaves here, okay? Right here, And what exists in slavery now, well, transparency. Yeah, that's what's happening right now, because most of the slavery I see going on has to do with trafficking, apparently, and government. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, I know. They need to follow their own rules. So, I love you all. Make sure you subscribe, because I will be back very soon on these live videos. I love you. And again, to any politician out there who really is fighting the good fight of faith for the people, I'm not talking to you. You know who I'm talking to. So, anyway, love you. Live the dream. Wild Kingdom Wellness. Oh! We will come back another day. We'll see you later. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.